but then he ends up crashing into a dead end, unfortunately.
Wait, no, you didn't say what happens when he stops for gas. That's my favorite part.
True.
What happens when he stops for... Oh, yeah. Go ahead. You know what happens.
I can't remember too much of it, but...
That was your favorite part!
What do you mean? Dopest!
Alright, but that seems like we are good to go. So, welcome to this episode podcast. Episode, 14, right?
Of the podcast, yep.
Where we are talking about
14
episodes.
14.
We're talking about... Shut the fuck up, man.
I'm stalling for time, bro.
Oh, fair enough.
So the one.
Hey, shout out to Hijacking. But tonight we are talking about Cromartie High School, episodes 9 through 17. So we're doing a 9-banger tonight. Hopefully we don't fall asleep halfway through this one. Yeah. Quick disclaimer: I'm at 4 hours of sleep right now because I blew it off until the last minute. So
Did you not work today?
I did.
What the fuck's wrong with you? Why did you stay up so late?
Because I blew it off and I was like, all right, I'll just binge it in my sleep. And then I was like, I got through the second episode. I was like, there is no way I could talk about these episodes without notes because I don't remember shit about any of the episodes right now.
I don't remember anything either.
So that's the scary thing about talking about Cromartie is like it's so like random, like it's so hard to just remember.
Yeah, see, I
4
thought
hours is better than the 0 I had last week. Trav, you got this.
Trav, I thought you were gonna say you only got 4 hours of sleep because you had to wake up early to get that stylish haircut.
Oh wow, thanks, man.
Slicked back.
I appreciate it. I had to, figure out some way for us to stall this podcast, so I decided to cut my hair. So we had a talking point for 2, 3, 4.
Can we get a round of applause for Trav?
6,
just taking one
7.
for the team.
Dude. All right, keep clapping for another 50 minutes. And then we can start the podcast.
Okay.
But, everyone, does anyone have any initial thoughts on this 9 episodes? Are you feeling happy about yourself? Are you feeling sad about yourself?
So I was watching it in bed, and I was just laying there like, bro, when is this going to be over? Every episode I would check, okay, only 8 more, only 7 more, only 6 more. And then I was like, finally, I'm fucking done. And then I just turned off my phone and went to bed.
Thank God it's finally over. What do you mean? It's the best show ever.
The only thing I wanted to talk about this podcast was Mata and how he is my favorite character and the only character I care about in the slightest.
Okay.
Because he just constantly gets bullied.
Dude, what about Freddy?
Like
Come on.
Freddy. He hasn't said a single fucking word.
What? Okay.
He's a strong silent type, man.
Oh, he's so...
what about strong characters like Gorilla?
I like Mata, and I like Mekazawa a little bit. That's it.
What about Mini Mekazawa, which we're introduced to later?
That one was actually funny. That was episode 1, right?
That was episode 9.
The first one that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
That was actually a funny episode. I enjoyed that one.
Well, Josh, Yusuf, any
thoughts
right now?
My thoughts were, once I finished the 9 episodes, I'm like, thank God there's only 9 episodes left.
But why? Don't you love Mini Mekazawa and Mekazawa?
I was like, I was watching it too, I'm like, okay. They were stalling so much in like the first 8 episodes. It was like they were telling the same jokes over and over again. There's no chance they're going to keep doing the same shit for these next 9 episodes. Lo and behold, Mitch's favorite character, the number 1 guy in the first class, shows up with his motion sickness.
That's not my favorite character.
Oh, fucking Takanuchi.
Yeah, I fucking cannot stand
Takawuka
that.
knocking Takanuchi.
Dude's
I'm a tough guy.
Class.
I'm respected by all the second years and third years, but I have one big weakness. I am very motion sick.
I'm pretty sure he introduced himself like that twice in one episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, bro,
one after each other.
He did it again. He did it again in these episodes, even though we've already fucking known him.
I know.
In case you forgot, my name is Uka Takanuchi.
Dude, that's the best part about Cromartie. You don't think they're gonna rip a joke that long, and then before you know it, the episode's over.
They totally
From
will.
replaying the same joke over and
That's the
over.
worst part about Cromartie, because you're like, fucking end this. Like, this joke. The joke was minimally funny the first time I heard it, and now it's just like nails on a chalkboard. It's awful.
Yeah, when I was watching that part, like I thought of Mitch right away. I'm like, dude, he's got to be loving this right now.
So bad.
Dude, yeah, that made like. I was complaining to Mitch the other day that, the one downside of me picking this show is that I like write down notes for it because, I want to make sure we're talking about each of the points. Yeah. But then, when I actually start to watch it, I'm like, man, I fucking love this show. It's so great and inspiring with all the deep and developed characters. And then I'm just sitting there like, man, Mitch has to fucking watch this shit too, and I love it. Let's go. And then, Josh, you have any thoughts before we start with episode 9?
No, I think I'm the same way as Yusuf, where I'm glad there's only a few episodes left, just because I'm really ready for the grand, overarching, story to come to a very satisfying end and just fulfill all the plot points we've been exploring along the way and really resolve some of the character development that they've started throughout. So genuine.
Oh, this is great.
I was gonna say something like completely. I was gonna say two things. One of the things was there's actually two characters that do have some kind of like actual continuous plot and character development, and that's the dude with the dot on his forehead's like lackey that we don't know the name of. I think that bit's funny that he can't never say his name. And then Maeda,
Hakoto's lackey.
Yeah, and then Maeda, the last time we saw Maeda was when he like got left by his friends. He's like, maybe I don't have any friends. I want him to do like the greatest anime betrayal of all time and just beat the fuck out of all the main characters. I would fucking cheer so.
What about
hard.
Yamaguchi? His fucking afro's getting bigger and bigger, and he keeps having his inner monologue.
There was actually an episode with him that I didn't mind that much, but I forgot what happened. I think it was the puppet one. I found kind of funny.
Oh, with Mac and I think David was one of their puppets' names.
Yeah. But other than that, no.
All right, but yeah, this is great for me because just seeing the like dread and just sorrow in everyone's face just fills me with so much joy. I can't even start to explain how happy I am just talking about this show. But let's start off with episode 9, where it starts off at, how do you say his name, Yusuf? Maeda?
Maeda.
All right.
Yeah.
So Maeda's happy that all his friends came over to finally celebrate his birthday, because in the previous episode they always using Maeda's house for fights and all that stuff. So he was finally happy. They came together and were celebrating Maeda. And lo and behold, he was too guilty to kind of put a stop to the party because his birthday was last month. So it was kind of awkward with just scene after scene of just showing Maeda's face going more and more into sorrow and a little bit of guilt. And then ultimately the scene ends with them celebrating his mother's birthday, actually. How dare Maeda forget his own mother's birthday? Mitch, how do you think Maeda's that good, dude? He forgets his own mother's birthday.
I just like him because he's the only character that makes me feel any sort of emotion when I watch the show.
Do you feel emotion when you see his mother? Because it's pretty much Maeda with a perm.
No, but I just feel bad for the guy, man.
Why? His friends showed up for his mother's birthday. Come on.
He's always getting kidnapped. His friends don't even care about him. I feel bad for the boy.
Yeah, Maeda's definitely the Reiner of this show for me, because it's Reiner loves losing. That's the best thing he's good at. Maeda's really good at getting fucking kidnapped and just taken away from other rival schools.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any thoughts on Maeda? Is he justified in being happy?
I mean, I would probably be pissed too if people just keep showing up in my house for no reason. Was it actually his mom's birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Did I just miss that?
At the end, they were celebrating mother's birthday.
They were well, we're here to celebrate Maeda's birthday, and they gave his mom a
Oh,
cake
just
because
because she looked like him.
no,
It
because
was
Well,
Maeda's
that's his last name.
that's his last name.
Yeah.
So
ah.
her name's
Oh,
Maeda too.
Gotcha,
So,
gotcha. Mm. Yeah.
so yeah.
But
Shows
then
you how much I was paying attention to that detail.
Bro, I've literally,
you probably just thought it was Maeda in a wig right there. So
Well, like I was like trying to remember how Maeda the son looked, and then how the mom looked, and I tried putting them side by side. And I just didn't even see the resemblance. I don't know if it was because they weren't like together in the same frame, like when I was looking at them, or what. But
well, you could see them together in the intro because they throw Maeda's mom and him in the intro next
bro,
to each other.
I figured out what I was gonna say before. You know what's fucked up is that these episodes are only 11 minutes, right? And I paused one of the 11-minute episodes to take a break to watch a 30-minute YouTube video. 'Cause that was more of a break than watching the next 5 minutes of this shit. It's fucking
Well,
awful.
if you think about it too, the episodes are only like 10 minutes because the intro
Not
is
even, no.
yeah,
They're
the
like
intro
probably
shit.
nine
the
and
intro is like a minute
minutes.
and a half.
Yeah,
The
you
outro,
said
too.
you can say you said you can see them in the intro, and I was like, that's bold of you to assume I've watched the intro since like episode 3.
Oh
The
my
intro's the
god,
only
I
thing
watch
I
it
enjoy
every
about the
time.
show.
It's
It's a
great.
good song, but since it's already so much of a great time, and I want all the seconds of my life back that I can get, I've been skipping the intro.
Bro, I wish the intro was about 9 minutes longer.
It's the
my
full
favorite part of the
song.
intro is the beginning of it and the end of it. Nothing in the middle. Well, actually, one part in the middle, two parts in the middle. When they like do that weird
Four
swag
parts in a row.
walk.
Yeah, I love that swagger walk.
And the
Dude,
dude's
that's
hair is,
great.
fucking
They're just
flicking.
kicking everyone out. Well, the thing I want to bring up too about that is like the thing I actually do really like about this show is like we're slowly introduced to like all the pieces of the intro. So like we're later introduced to the mask guy, and we're later introduced to like the gorilla and Freddy and all that stuff. So you can kind of point out when all the new characters come into play, which is something I really like.
I also like that little segment where the gorilla goes like this
Yeah.
from like two different angles, and then they
No,
slam into
that's
each
two
other. I don't know
different.
why.
That's two different gorillas. You got
Yeah.
the one that shows up in a later episode. But, after Maeda's birthday, you forgot the quotes there, fucking Mike, bad. But, we're introduced to Mekazawa's younger brother, Mini Mekazawa, which I'm guessing Yusuf, did you like Mini Mekazawa? Because all he did was like a little choo choo noise the entire time.
Yeah, man.
That probably I thought of you the entire time I saw Mini Mikazawa. He has like blue overalls and stuff, and all he heard come out of his mouth was like choo choo choo.
Yeah, man. I thought he was cute. He was a little tin can. He kept getting more fun size and more fun size each time he got fucked up.
Yeah, so we're introduced to Mekazawa's younger brother, Mini Mekazawa, and the gorilla steps on him, and from the shock of that, Mekazawa's pretty much out for the remainder of the episode until like the end. And after the brother gets repaired, he gets way smaller. He's like the size of like a phone now, as they keep bringing up. And they're trying to just, use him as like a spy or figure out what the best way they can use him to benefit Cromartie High is. And then I forget who steps on him again, but Mini Mekazawa gets stepped on again. Poor Mini Mekazawa. Bad feet. And he then comes back again, smaller, and now he's being used as a phone, like a literal phone. And lo and behold, who's calling him? Maeda. Because why?
Huh?
Why not?
I don't remember why Maeda was calling. I have no fucking clue.
I don't either.
Why not?
That's what I fucking wreck. Okay, so sorry. Like we were talking about this episode, and my favorite thing about this episode was that the lackey was like, "When the fuck are we gonna tell him that he's a fucking robot?" Like he was like, "He's a robot," and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, why is this dude's voice so familiar to me? Like his
The lackeys?
yeah, I can't picture his voice, but he voices my second favorite character from Haikyuu, the English dub of Haikyuu.
Was that the volleyball show?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I was like, that's probably why I like him so much, because of the voice. But I just remembered that. Sorry for dealing the conversation.
Yeah, Jesus,
The
we're talking about a very
great
competent show.
intellectual conversation we were having about Cromartie.
Apology
Sorry.
not accepted.
Yeah, what the hell's wrong with you, dude?
And he
So-
voices Nishinoya. And
So the reason why Maeda calls is because in the scene before, because they crushed Mini Mechazawa again, they sent him back to a repair shop, but there wasn't enough time for them to get Mini Mechazawa back before the Mechazawa comes back to visit Maeda's house. So to cover it up, Hayashida uses like a green tea like holder and like paints it to look like Mini Mechazawa just to trick him. That doesn't work.
Is Mechazawa's brother, is that his actual name? Is Mini Mechazawa, or does he have a real name?
No, it's Mini
I think
Mechazawa.
he's isn't he like Mechazawa? Well,
Yeah, it's-
Beta or something like that.
no, it's just Mini Mechazawa. From what I saw. But pretty much the episode ends with Hayashida getting into a fight with Mechazawa. It gets really heated between him and his brother, and they start trading blows. And what I mean by blows is that Hayashida just turns him off or just factory resets him. Then they just push him in the closet like nothing's wrong. And then the episode ends with Maya being scared that he's going to get in trouble with his mommy.
My favorite part of this episode was
Of this episode.
when the lackey was saying that, and then the guy with the fucking purple hair is like, "Don't you dare say anything offensive about like some robots or some kind of race that you can't say anything about." I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that seems to be an ongoing bit with the Mechazawa family.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Lackey's just like, what the hell? Why can't we just say he's a robot? And then Hayashida's like, dude, that's messed up, bro.
Is Hayashida the purple hair dude?
Yeah.
No. What the hell's the main character's name?
Kamiyama.
Uh,
But
Cool.
this was an episode. The next
brother.
episode that I really liked was episode 10, where it introduced the like two top guys from Bass High. Where what was his name? Sitotuchi? Fuck, I said that wrong. But
God, this fucking episode, dude. Oh my god.
so it introduces the top guy at Bass High and his right hand man, Takejo, and they're having like a meeting on how they're gonna take down Cromartie, and it just slowly zooms in on Takejo's like point of view, and it just zooms in on the boss's nose, and all you see is just this one like nose hair just kind of blowing every time he talks. And he's like, man, dude, I can't focus because of this goddamn hair. And then he scratches his nose and the hair switches to the other side. And I'm like, damn. Been there.
Yeah, I've been there.
It's brutal. It's like, how's that shit get that long, you know? But then before you know it, he keeps rubbing his nose. And next thing you know, he's got like 16 different hairs
Paintbrush.
sticking out of his nose. Yeah. And it just keeps blowing in the wind. And by the end of it, Takejo has his own ear hair or nose hair poking out too.
How the fuck did you know this guy's name? We only saw him like twice, dude.
I wrote it down. What do you mean? I wrote it down like before we started this shit. Yeah. Well, I'm most familiar with these last two episodes that we're talking about right now because I just like kind of rewatched them before we started this shit.
You rewatched this fucking show. You've watched these episodes more than once.
Rewatch meaning I skimmed through it, you know, taking
Yeah,
quick
he has
notes.
to carry the convo, so that's his job.
I'm trying, man. 4 hours of sleep, man. It's brutal. Plus, I'm
Maybe.
probably lost some brain cells for the haircut.
Maybe you should actually
I-
fucking watch the episodes on time then.
Sorry, boss. I'll do better next time.
Darwin.
The most
I'm
annoying
sorry.
thing for me in that scene was that when it zoomed in on his face, on the boss's face, like you could see the nose hair just flicking around. I knew it was there. I'm like, all right, shit, he's just got a nose hair flailing around. Like, it's fine. I mean, live your life. But then they made it a point to zoom in more on it. It's like, hey, you got a nose hair. You see it? You see it?
God, I can't
You see
focus
it?
on nothing else other than that nose hair, man.
It's on the other side now. Do you see it? It's like, dude, I fucking saw it the first time. Calm down. But man, they just overdo it with that.
Yeah, yeah, that was.
That kind of reminds me of a thought I had like later on. I was like, man, this must be the fucking easiest show in the world to animate.
Well,
Literally
it's really
still
easy to
picture.
animate because of this next part that comes out, which I loved. Is the reason we titled it "Stalling for Time" is because of this next scene with Kayama and Hayashida. Hayashida just keeps complaining about like, man, I'm so bored. I just wish something interesting would happen. And instead of them like in like other animes, they just like kind of loop the same walking animation while like keeping their feet and like the background kind of changing a little bit, or like they hide the bottom and whatever. But they showed like the whole thing. There's them like going this way, and they just slide them back. They just keep sliding them back and forth the entire
Like,
time,
fucking
just
5 minutes.
yeah, that's all. And it
God.
was just Hayashida just going like, man, I'm so bored. And then Kayama's just like, hey man, it's good to be bored. We're not supposed to have fun in school. We're here to learn. We're here to gain knowledge. You know, being bored is a gift. We should appreciate that. And while all this is going on, Freddy swoops in on a horse. You know,
Wait, he was saying being bored is a good thing. I thought he was like trying to say that it's just we're supposed. It's like it's not a good nor a bad thing. It's just we're bored because we're in high school, and any other high school student
Yeah.
that says otherwise is lying to you or too
yeah,
delusional that they think
it
they're.
is a good
Yeah.
thing though.
He was saying that all high schools are boring, even this one.
Yeah, you got to get knowledge.
Bro, he dropped the philosophy bomb on us though when he said people that say they're having fun are either delusional or they're either lying or they're so delusional that they actually think they're having fun. I was like, holy shit, we're getting
See.
deep in this episode.
Well, it's just another
Of this
reason to
episode.
love this show, man. It humbles you. You know, it teaches you stuff that you wouldn't learn anywhere else. Right, Mitch?
Yeah, sure. I learned more in this episode than I did in my 4.5 years at college.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
But then
I always knew my philosophy minor would come in handy one day.
so then Takejo just keeps relaying back to the boss of what's actually happening, Cromartie. And it's like, dude, there's a horse here. There's this giant muscular guy here. What the hell's going on? And with the main guy from Bass High School stole Maeda. You know, he got kidnapped again. They're holding him hostage, and they're like, we could take this school on. No, there's Freddy there, and then Takejo's like, dude, you'll never believe it. His nose hairs are growing more. There's a fucking gorilla here, man. No way. And then Maeda's just kind of there to rot again, because he has no friends.
or Maeda, man.
Yeah, he has no friends.
Is this the episode where it kept flipping back to Freddy and they kept playing his freaking theme song when he was just doing random stuff? Was it this episode or was it the later one?
I think it was like the forest episode. I think that's the one you're talking
It was
about.
I think it was the baseball episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
They pretty much just show Freddy riding in on a horse, and then Hayashida is just like, man, I'm so bored here. And next thing you know, Freddy's horse is biting on Maeda before he gets fucking kidnapped again.
Hey, he's getting abused. He's getting eaten by horses. What the hell's wrong with it? Like, leave my boy alone, dude.
No mercy for Maeda, dude. He gets bit and kidnapped on the same day. But yeah, that was pretty much it. You know, Takejo's like, no, I'd F this place, F Cromartie, and then Bass just pretty much backs off from Cromartie. So ends that episode. And then on episode 11, we get the return of a fan favorite character, Takanuchi, right?
Yo, Takanuchi.
Takanuchi.
This is my favorite character.
Yeah, he
Is
was.
it actually your favorite character?
Oh,
What?
yup.
My
What
name's
is wrong?
Takanuchi. I'm respected by all my elders.
Even the
I'm
third.
convinced you
Even
fuckers
the
are mentally ill,
thirties.
dude. I'm convinced you have mental issues.
What do you mean? You learned something in episode 10, dude. What does that say about
Wow.
I didn't learn
Wow.
shit. I was making it.
you? You got humbled by Cromartie. You're just too scared to admit it.
Oh my gosh.
So Takanuchi returns saying like, I've been training for this day. I've been getting ready for this school trip, and he finds out that he has to go on a plane. And before they board the plane for the school trip, Takanuchi overhears two wannabe hijackers going like, "Yeah, bro, I don't know about this.
Yeah. Hey,
Look at all these scary kids."
Trav. When we go to Florida, we should test this. We should test out. See, let's start talking about hijacking the plane and see what happens. See if people will do anything.
Please, no. Or stand
No.
far away from
Mitch,
me when you
you
start
idiot.
the
I don't
conversation.
think I want to hijack this plane. Today.
I refuse this.
God,
I'm too
there's
scared.
there's so many people here. I'm nervous. I get nervous around people. Don't forget to bring the ski masks too and like the duffel bags.
Right?
Oh,
They were just wearing the ski masks, and everybody was like, "This is chill.
Yeah, their face was
This
just
guy's
cold.
being dudes."
Yeah, just two dudes being dudes. So, Takanuchi realizes he has two choices. He's just like, I really want to stop them because doing bad stuff is bad. But if I don't stop them, they'll stop the trip. Or if I convince them, they'll hijack the plane and they'll cancel the trip. So I don't have to go on the plane.
Dude, that's cool.
But then it pretty much ends up with Takanuchi kicking everyone out of the room. And look at my notes, dude.
No, what the fuck's over there? Why do you keep
It's
looking
cool.
that way?
I'm looking at my stream. What do you mean?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I don't. What do you mean?
Nothing. Just keep talking.
No, you're so rude. I feel like we have to get these emotions out of you.
Just keep
I-
talking.
I feel like you're having too much fun watching Cromartie, dude. So, Takanuchi clears out the room from all the students, pretty much kicks them off the trip, and it ends with Takanuchi being he ends up on the plane with both the hijackers, and he ends up being part of their crew, or they treat him as the boss. And before you know it, Takanuchi is just in Nevada now, wondering, all my friends are gonna remember me.
He's in America.
They're thinking about me right now. They're not. And let's see here. So we cut back to Cromartie because Takanuchi's just like, my friends keep thinking about me. But, the students at Cromartie are just like, Takanuchi's right here, man. He got replaced by one of the hijackers wearing the mask. So he tried to instill, life lessons, and he was telling them, his backstory and stuff. And it pretty much ends with the gorilla, just jump scaring him, and that was the end of the episode. No one thinks about Takanuchi because Mass Takanuchi is best Takanuchi, right?
Well, Mass Takanuchi got all philosophical. It's like, you guys need to change the way you live, or you'll end up like me in that Mexican prison where I played puzzle games. So I figured out the meaning of life through these puzzle games.
How badass is Takanuchi? He's already been to prison?
You're talking
What the
like a
shit?
30-year-old man.
Yeah, what's wrong? He's talking like he's in his late 30s. What's going on here? But yeah, I thought that episode was pretty good. It was a good way to reintroduce back Takanuchi, one of the best characters, right? Right, Mitch?
Can we move on to the next episode, please?
What do you mean? Of
The
this
best
episode?
character.
All right, next episode.
Of this episode?
Of this episode.
Let's see here. The whole gimmick of episode 12 was Mekazawa keeps getting confused with something else. So the Cromartie
It's probably my
students.
favorite episode of
Oh,
this
you're-
bunch.
Gonna be honest, I have zero recollection of this episode at all.
So
No.
I guess
You'll
we'll.
probably remember it when Trav describes it.
Okay.
This is pretty fun.
So the episode starts with some Cromartie students approaching Mekazawa, asking for his help to kind of quell the beef between Cromartie and Bass High School, and Mekazawa just kind of says, "No, you guys
It's
gotta
your
stop. You
problem."
guys gotta stop relying on me. You'll never grow. You'll never grow if I keep holding your hand. So I'm washing my hands clean of this." So he got so pent up and angry because of the whole argument between him and his Cromartie friends, that he goes and does the only thing he knows best to calm down, is to gamble. But before that, he's mistaken for a locker by one of the students trying to push him over. And then when he goes to gamble, one of the adults mistakes him for one of the slot machines. They keep trying to insert cards and coins into him, and they even have a repair guy open him up and trying to figure out what's wrong with this pachinko machine. But yeah, it's just Mechazawa just kind of chilling. So instead of gambling, Mechazawa is just like, you know what? I'm going to do the next best thing I know how to calm myself down. He just starts riding very fast on a motorcycle.
Okay.
Ooh, something just popped in Mitchie's brain.
Oh, I don't remember the first half of this episode. I just remember the motor stuff. That's it.
Well,
I remember him mentioning that he could feel the wind piercing his skin.
it's nice, speeding down the road, no safety equipment or anything. But then he ends up crashing into a dead end, unfortunately.
Wait, no, you didn't say what happens when he stops for gas. That's my favorite part.
True.
What happens when he stops? Oh, yeah. Go ahead. You know what happens.
I can't remember too much of it, but
That was your favorite part.
What do you mean?
It was my favorite part.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Look at the
what led up to it.
Yeah, saying a part of one of these episodes is your favorite part is not a high bar. So the fact that he doesn't remember is not that big of a deal.
No.
Okay.
He was
I think I remember. I think I remember.
You forgot about this part.
Trav, you absolute doofus. You completely skipped over the part that I love the most. Alright, go ahead, talk about it. You think I fucking remember it either? Look at my forehead vein. It gets fucking bigger and bigger. But go ahead.
Holy shit. Okay, I think I remember. Well, I don't know why he needed it, but he's like, I need some gas.
Yeah, his bike was out of gas.
The motorcycle.
Yeah. So he stops for gas, and there's these two dudes just shooting the shit. He's like, hey, fill her up. So then the dude comes over with the gas nozzle. He's like, all right, I'm filling her up. He's fucking putting the gas in. Mechazawa's dude.
Well, the best part too is like Mechazawa's like, bro, the gas tank's right here. What the fuck you doing?
It's right here, dude.
Yeah, that's the whole theme with this episode. Mechazawa just keeps getting mistaken for something else. So while we let Yusuf calm down his forehead, Hayashida and Kayama come across the crashed Mechazawa. His bike and himself are in pieces. Hi there, Echo Trav. How are you doing today? Pretty good. All right.
Why are you echoing?
Yusuf, mute himself. Yeah, look at that face. He knows what he did. But after they repaired Mechazawa, it seems like they mistaked him for the bike. So now we have Moto Mechazawa fitted with rockets. And who better to drive that bike? Our main boy, Kayama, who's actually doing something. Who's actually doing something now.
Kamiyama.
Yeah.
Kamina?
Kamui.
Mecha Motorcycle Zawa.
Yeah, Mecha. So Kayama and Moto Mechazawa save this girl who's being pretty much mugged by Bass students. And they do that with a rocket. A effing rocket. And you know what? After they save the day, you know how to end this episode? Just do a complete effing recap of the entire episode, pretty much. This episode ends with a full recap and multiple shots of that rocket going off. And I'm like, damn.
So many.
They love killing time, dude. Stalling. That's all these last couple of episodes were, really. But after the awesome and, really thought-provoking montage of seeing that rocket get shot 30 goddamn times, it shows both Moto Mechazawa and Kayama both arrested. Thank God. Put them away. Throw away the key, right?
Yes. Never have to watch the shit again.
No, now we have Maeda to take the main character route, right?
Yes.
See,
I would watch
About
that.
time. It's about time.
My boy.
So then we are now on episode 13, unless I missed another really good scene in episode 12, Yusuf.
Yeah, I think so, actually. Wait.
Go
Let
ahead.
me think. I'm trying to think. I can't remember.
Should we have a montage of you thinking?
Maybe.
With you moving back and forth
Go on.
across your room.
Yeah, just keep looking at random shit, pretty much. But I guess then we'll skip ahead to episode 13. This is the baseball episode.
This one was okay.
This is the one
Great episode.
of this episode. Josh, any thoughts on the baseball episode?
Didn't care much for the baseball, but they had some good trees.
Felt bad for Maeda again, bro, because he's just the only one actually making speaking common sense, and they're like, bro, well, we could just play by ourselves if we believe in ourselves, or we could just make up teams. Or Maeda's like, but you need 9 players to play baseball, you idiots.
Oh, dude, it's so great. They just completely shit on Maeda this episode because, like Mitch said, Hayashida is just like, yeah, I'm gonna be in a baseball team. Maeda's like, dude, you need like 9 players or some shit. And then he's just like, if I just believe hard enough and I try hard enough, I can do it. Maeda's like, no,
you cannot.
no, you can't do
That's
it.
not how this works.
And then everyone just kind of turns it on my ass. Like, quit thinking so negatively, man. This is why you have no friends. You have absolutely
you
zero
think you're
friends,
kidnapped.
Maeda. Yeah, you have no friends, Maeda. List off one friend. Maeda's like, it was hurtful.
Wow.
Fucking love Maeda, dude.
So, from that, the first Cromartie baseball team is formed. Maeda gets just thrown into the mix. Who's the whole team? Like Kayama. What the fuck is that one rich guy's name? Hokoto, the lackey, Gorilla, Freddy. All them guys get paired together.
Maeda's on
And-
the team too. Did you say Maeda already?
Yeah,
Yes.
he got dragged
I think
along.
he is the eighth. The 8th member.
Yeah, he just.
Gorilla, the 9th.
Is Mikazawa in there? He's as
Mikazawa's
the
there,
he's on the motorcycle, right? That's what I was trying to think of. I didn't know if it was at the end of last episode or the start of the one you're explaining. But they kept him as a freaking motorcycle.
Bye,
I thought
Josh.
That was
Oh
interesting.
gosh.
See you, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
I knew it. I always turn it back on as quick as I can.
You can't hide it from us.
Maeda's mom is on the team too.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, who better than to have Maeda's mom, you know? But
We might
They
have been on the
decide-
team twice, right?
the baseball team decides to go to, like, a training in the woods. But instead of, like, renting, like, a motel or something, because that's too expensive, they just try to rough it in the woods. And they just pretty much don't end up eating for a couple days. Except Freddy, who walks, like, 2-3 hours down to a ramen shop for both breakfast, lunch, and dinner just to eat the same bowl of ramen and then walk all the way back like nothing happened. You know, instead of getting help or anything, he just kind of shows up to the ramen shop. The guys are like, I don't know who the hell this guy is. At least he pays, you know, whatever.
I think this is also the first episode in a while that we write a letter to Mom again.
Yeah, that's true.
That hasn't happened since like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Kayama's taking more and more of like a backseat, pretty much. He's not too much of a main character. He just kind of pops in, you know.
Because he sucks.
What do you mean? He's very educated and he's, you know, very well informed. He's got a
Yes,
good
yeah.
head on his shoulders.
He's actually not that bad.
Yeah. So he's definitely not been the focal point, though, of these last couple of episodes. But they finally decide to play baseball after, like, what, 3-4 days out in the woods. Either Freddy or Gorilla just knocks it out, and they're like, damn, that was only baseball. Because we're done playing baseball. So now they're just kind of in, like, a fight of survival, just trying to find food and, you know, even Hayashida walks the same exact path Freddy went to that ramen shop. And, you know, instead of getting ramen, he found the baseball that they hit, you know. And he was like, hey, man, can you grab that, you know, ball for me? He's like, oh, thanks. Even Maeda's like, bro, so you walked all the way and found other people and you didn't think about asking for help? And Hayashida's like, of course not. I would never abandon you guys. Maeda, this is why you have no friends. Because you care only about yourself. And Maeda's like, I can't fucking win, man. I got no friends. No one likes me. Even my friends celebrate my mom's birthday instead of mine. Poor Maeda.
Yeah, dude.
So just as a side note, I'm wearing the shirt because it's the name of the episode.
This
I happen
episode.
to
Wait,
have
what?
of this episode. This shirt
yeah,
says
yeah.
Joshua Tree on it, if you can't read. And I was just looking up to see if there is a Joshua Tree in Japan or why they talk about it, because the reason I have this shirt is because it's a national park in the U.S. I looked up to see if it has any relevance whatsoever to Japan. All of the results that I'm getting are about a U2, the band U2 tour that happened to be in Japan, and apparently they called it the Joshua Tree Tour. But the tour started in the U.S. and then they took it to Japan, meaning that they'd probably named the tour after the national park in the U.S. So I just have no idea why this episode is called Joshua Tree.
They just knew you had that shirt, dude.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, Josh. So
I'm
what
so
is
thankful.
what is the Joshua Tree? Is it a national park then, or
Yeah, it's a national park in the U.S. in like the Mojave Desert. So I want to say Southwest. I don't know if it's California or a different state, but it's in the Southwest.
why is it called Joshua Tree? Is it because there's a big tree?
Big tree. Yep.
Big tree.
Big tree. Big tree.
So then episode 13 ends with them getting let out of the forest by a gorilla. Not the normal gorilla, but like a gorilla with makeup
This
and
one
stuff on
has
it.
a flower.
Yeah, it's so cute and kawaii. But man, it's just how the episode ends. But episode 14 is another Yamaguchi episode. How do we love Yamaguchi, everybody?
This episode was better than his previous ones, just because the yellow puppet was funny.
Yeah, so Mitch is talking about his introduction of his new right-hand man. What was his name? Not Koto or some shit. I can't fucking remember these goddamn names. But yeah, he comes in with his puppet. Let's see what his. Did I write down his puppet name?
Is it Akira or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't it like Dave or something really fucking weird? Isn't it something super simplistic and weird?
Sup, I'm Dave.
It's like, yeah, like Mark or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, and then Yamaguchi pretty much rants a lot about like American like comedy versus like Japanese like comedy. It's like, oh, the Americans just laugh at the jokes. Well, Japanese just they read too much into it and they try to figure out like the intent behind it and shit. And it's like that's why this whole country's like falling under and shit. And it's like Yamaguchi, shut the fuck up. Let's get what time are we at? This episode already. Come on, let's get out of this shit. So
I'm gonna tell Cromartie High School to sue Assassination Classroom for stealing the puppet.
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to the assassination classrooms. We can compare puppets, right?
Or not. I don't want to watch that again.
Well, that's going to be the next pick now. Look it. But, yeah, and then the puppet guy shows off his other hidden talent, his true strength. He has the ability to delay his voice.
How the fuck do you do that? I tried to do it after I watched it. I was like, how the fuck do you do that, dude?
It's
What do you
the
mean?
ventriloquism. It's all about ventriloquism.
Like, how do you...
It's
can't
because
fucking-
they'll move their mouth and then they'll actually do the ventriloquism thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess when they ventriloquize, they can't talk with their mouth open either.
Exactly. They won't be. They'll do it after they're done moving their mouth.
Moving your mouth.
Yeah,
I mean, their mouth isn't closed like that.
Yeah, their mouth stays open. I think it was
You
exaggerated
usually, like-
in the anime because their mouth
Yeah.
was closed completely, so it was actually impossible.
Mhm.
In real life, you'd have to keep it open like this, and you just kind of keep talking even while your lips aren't moving.
Holy shit,
I'm not
Josh.
good at it.
Was Josh talking? His voice was delayed a little bit.
That
No,
was
I think
some
it
other
was.
dude.
I think it was the tree.
Holy
Yep.
shit.
So I'm
But-
saying the tree and I are one.
So yeah, the puppet's name is Mick, and it gets promoted as the right-hand man instead of the guy holding the puppet because Mick took a shot at the one guy with like the like blonde hair. He's pretty much that school's
Maeda.
Maeda. Yeah, he gets shit on, and all he wants to do is get respected. He gets no respect, even when he tries to be a ventriloquist as well. He just gets shit on by, Mick and Yamaguchi. So then, let's see here. That's when Takanuchi finally returns to Cromartie via the bus. And you already know how that scene's going to play out, right? I am Takanuchi.
Takanuchi. I'm the most respected of the first years, but
Even
I
the
have
third.
the greatest weakness. I have motion sickness.
Mm-hmm.
In case you forgot.
And with all this,
years.
so for that other Mada character, he actually gets trained in ventriloquism by Kayama, who apparently is a ventriloquist too, and can delay his voice too, which is awesome. They all have superpowers and strength.
Honey boy.
Honey boy indeed. But yeah,
Can you just start calling him Honey partway through too, instead of saying boy? At the end?
Fucking no.
Or was I so like
yeah,
I
good
fell
going,
asleep
good
all the way
going,
through, I'm
honey.
not gonna lie.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
for
felt
all
like
I
he
know,
was
they could have
calling
been
it-
calling him honey. I was just like, this is a Yamaguchi episode. This one's just write the goddamn notes and let's move on, man. I don't care much for these Yamaguchi episodes personally.
At least this episode was better than the fucking next one. The next one was fucking god awful.
Yeah, there's really not much else to talk about with episode 14. So let's move on to Mitch's favorite episode then, episode 15, right?
I mean, this one was better than episode, what was it, 10? But this one was just like, what the fuck's happening? It's a new character we've never met before, and it's just fucking writing on a goddamn computer. And his little blog
dude,
posts.
it's so...
I was so confused. I didn't know what the hell was happening in this episode.
So, yeah, Manuel High, or Manuel High, is the newest school introduced, and the top guy, Fujimoto, who is like the big tough guy, but he pretty much ignores everyone's problem at the school because he is secretly a Discord mod for
Pretty much.
Putan. Pretty much. He's just like, on the outside of like school or like at school and stuff, he's like the big like tough guy. He's got like the scar or some shit. He's like, you guys deal with your own problems. What a waste of time this is. And then he goes home. He's just like, please, if you're gonna go into general chat, make sure you follow the rules and guidelines to make sure we improve our community. Winky laughing face. How do we feel about Fujimoto and his it's kind of crazy how much that like lives up to like today too.
Oh yeah, it's on.
It like I just completely thought like, dude, this is a Discord mod, dude. This is crazy.
Fucking Reddit mod.
Yeah. Make sure you don't post in a general chat and don't at everybody. Make sure to follow the guidelines or we're gonna have to give you a timeout.
That's why I hate public Discord servers, bro. It's just ugh.
Yeah, it's like nerve wracking. Like step out of line for a little bit, and you have like the bot like go like, "The fuck's
Hey.
wrong with you?
Fuck you say.
I will not warn you again. You will be kicked off of this Discord server if it's the last thing I do."
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
Ninja? Fortnite?
Whoa.
There we go.
So
One time I'll use the soundboard tonight.
yeah, it's pretty much
One
the
last.
entire episode is just Fujimoto ignoring the high school's like drama and stuff with Cromartie, like,
The ending was good.
Well, Kayama is like trying to convince like the Cromartie students, like, hey, you gotta be on time, Time is money. And then there's like, yeah, you're right, but we have beef with, Manual High School, so we're gonna show up there in the morning. Actually, let's just stay there all night. So in the morning when we wake up, we can kick the shit out of them. So they're like, Kayama, you're coming too. And he's like, what? He's the only one that showed up, and he stayed there pretty much like for like an hour. He's like, if I leave now, they're gonna think I never showed up here. So he left a note. Obviously, he thought about it. It was like, these guys are too much of dipshits to read. So I gotta make sure I leave it simple and big. So he spray painted Kayama was here on Manuel High's wall, which started more beef with that school. Fujimoto, just like, you just got to ignore it. It's nothing to us. And then, you know, he goes back to his goddamn forums and his Discord. And Kayama kind of sneaks in there too, because he's a fan of Puton too, so it makes sense why he's in this chat group. So he sneaks under there under the username like Honey or some shit, like Honey Boy. And he's just like, you know, you gotta look at it from his perspective. He's like, you know what? That makes complete sense, but I'm gonna deal with this in my own way. Smiling, laughing face. What a good way to see a different perspective. So that's pretty much the episode, though. It's just like
the ending was the best part.
Yeah. So he comes across a troll on his forum, and instead of ignoring the troll and, you know, ignoring the advice of another like mod on that server, he's just like, I'm gonna have to deal with this my way. He's trying to have a educated conversation and debate with a troll, but yeah, that doesn't work. The troll pretty much just tells him to go touch grass. Pretty much. That's like the Hail Mary kind of thing. He didn't say that. He said something like on the same scope, but
I know. I fucking hate the. I'm touching grass right now. It's like, bitch, what the fuck?
What? Go touch grass, bro. What? You get offended by that?
The part I was talking about though is when the dude's walking down the street and he's all pissed off, and then the troll, he doesn't know it's the troll, but the troll comes walking towards him. He's like, bumps him. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Have a great day, sir." And he just fucking gets clocked in the face.
Yeah, Fujimoto knocks the shit out of the troll without even realizing that was the troll.
And then he's like, "How am I gonna get back at this troll?"
Damn it! How am I gonna get back at that guy in my Puton forums?
I'm just gonna start walking around randomly punching people and see if it's like someone that has.
If it resolves your problems, just punching people.
Yeah.
What could happen? What could go wrong?
Especially at like a school, like near a school, and that's where you get all the.
Just
go to a grade school.
I was just about to make a super no Twitch joke, but I'm not gonna do it. So stop myself.
That's wise.
So I think I'm going to pretty much pair the last two episodes together, episodes 16 and 17, because they kind of go into each other.
I'll say we finally got an episode that actually transitioned to the next episode.
Mm-hmm. Because because episode 16 ends, you know.
The big plot of the show. It's all coming together, all the pieces.
All the pieces slowly coming together. So pretty much episode 16 is about, like, there's like this big, like, Japan's like big boss, like, you know, contest to figure out who's the toughest and most badass student or person inside Japan. So you have to be like recommended by the school or something. I don't know really, but Hakoto, you know, pretty much wants to be like the number one. He wants to be like the top dog. So instead of listening to his lackey who says, "Bitch, you have no friends." No friends. So Hakoto, just like Mata, doesn't have any friends. And pretty much the lackey just spends pretty much most of the episode just hyping up Hakoto to be the big boss guy. I tried, dude. Look at me in that face. Don't look at me like that. I'm trying. I'm on 4 hours of sleep, bro.
I'm sorry, but you said it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You said it right, and then you just stopped trying. I don't understand.
4 hours of sleep. There's my excuse.
Hey, excuses are like assholes.
So now
it's a new character that
Hakoto's like big like job now is to become like the world's big boss, because all his like lackeys white lies and shit and too much hyping him up is now put him in this position. But it turns out, let's see here, the lackey was like, dude, to the whole like friend group, it's like, do you guys not even know my name? He's like, yeah, you guys, I want you to listen right now. I want to tell you my name, and you better goddamn remember it. And
Is
then
this
pretty much
next episode?
pretty much the episode ends on that.
Oh, okay.
So then, since that episode ended on that, we pick off right where it left off on episode 17, where the lackey is constantly like, all right, these guys are distracting you. He goes beat the shit out of like an entire group, comes back all messed up. He's like, there's no excuses now. You have to listen to me. You have to hear my name and remember it. And then out of nowhere, a meteor hits the school. Like, holy shoot, man. That would distract anybody. So then out of the meteor, these effing aliens come out. You know? Just like a normal Tuesday, right? Mm-hmm. So then these aliens come back like, hello, Earthlings. We're going to introduce ourselves now. And now the lackey's like, hey, man, listen, I respect you guys and what you're doing here, but, like, I was, like, in the middle of introducing myself. Can you just kind of chill? He's like, all right, so I guess we'll take a back seat. You go ahead, lackey. He's like, thank God. And then the alien's like, no, we're out of time here. Let's get this shit out of here before he can even say his name. So it took the aliens leave Earth with Freddy, and they leave an alien behind on accident or on purpose. I don't know. That could have been their Maeda.
Did anyone else notice that they had the fucking Darth Vader breathing noise?
Yeah. They had that little...
I understand getting distracted by a meteor crashing in the school. That much is obvious, but I don't know, the way Trav was pointing at the camera and commanding us just now, I couldn't focus on anything else. I was distracted by that.
Dude, the lackey was serious, man. He wants to share his name. Never got the chance.
I wanted to hear his name so bad. Like, him and Maeda, I'm like, come on, guys, I believe in you.
Please,
like,
someone listen to his name.
The only time I pay attention to the show are when Maeda or him are on the screen.
This episode just reminded me of the second episode when Kamiyama and what was the other guy's name? Hayashida. Like knew they were waiting for everyone to call Mikazawa a robot. And like, dude, this is the same shit happening again.
Same bitch.
This guy had so many chances to say his fucking name. Mm-hmm. Like he could have just walked back from beating the shit out of all those people and just be like, yeah, this is my name, remember it, fuckers. And then he didn't even do it. And then aliens show up. Then they get abducted by their fellow aliens.
It could have just been like, at any point, hey, my name's blah, blah, blah. But,
yeah.
Well, he's always like backing up like Hokoto. So, you know.
Hokoko?
Yeah.
Racist pups. Beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up.
So after Lackey failed to say his name, you know, he could have just said it, you know, but he decided not to from all the distractions, I guess. We cut to like the Japan contest actually for the boss.
I got so excited because I was like, oh fuck, we're gonna have a tournament arc. Dope.
Dude, I actually started laughing at this shit. It was so funny because they were like, instead of like a brawl, like a giant battle, they're like, all right, before we get to the main thing, we'll start with a questionnaire. Is milk like 80% of like yogurt?
Is milk and yogurt? Is yogurt made of milk?
Is milk the main ingredient of yogurt?
So everyone except Kayama got the answer wrong. So by default, Kayama becomes the big boss in Japan, pretty much. Yamaguchi sees the news and he's like, hey, our school wasn't in there. Let's go to Cromartie and let's show them who the big boss of Japan really is. And then when they got there, he was like, hey, honey boy, I knew you could do it. Pretty much. Yeah, honey boy, you got it. And it pretty much, they have another quiz show right there with Yamaguchi.
Oh, this is the one where he kept calling him honey. It wasn't the other one.
Yeah. And he's just doing like his inner monologue, like thinking, I gotta find the best time to tell a joke. You know. To the, like, or what was his name? Hayashida, like, answers one of the questions like, I don't know. He hits the buzzer again. I remembered the answer for the last one. Can I answer it? Kami was like, no, banned. Banned. And then Yamaguchi finally, like, figures out, like, the whole puzzle, like, Kayama's gonna do and stuff, and he finally answers it before, like, hitting the buzzer and shit, and he's just like, oh, he says some random shit, like, or some shit, and then he's like, that is correct. What? And then we cut back to our favorite character, right? Takanuchi. In like the little cafe.
Who's Takanuchi again, Yusuf?
He's the most respected of the first years, who unfortunately has one grave weakness.
And it is a weakness he shared with Hayashida. He has motion sickness. And surprisingly, Hayashida actually has something to hide with us too. His
This is the biggest plot twist in the
mohawk is fake. It's a wig. He pretty much just looks like Kayama with his hair normally. It's just like black hair and stuff. And the episode ends with Kayama just walking in on them like, the fuck are we doing here? Takanuchi's wearing the purple mohawk.
Yeah.
Because of like a like shuffle to like get his wig back on. It ends up on Takanuchi's head. He looks good in it. He's rocking it pretty good. Pretty strong. Pretty fierce. But that is the end of episode 17. And that is the last episode of Cromartie for this week. Pretty much. Mm-hmm. So, anyone have any lingering thoughts?
I'm just happy that we get a month break from this fucking show.
But
we're not gonna remember what happens then.
That doesn't fucking matter, dude.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what we'll say. You know what? If it seems like we've really disconnected ourselves from the main overarching plotline of this show, it's been a while since we've watched it. So if we keep saying that nothing makes sense, don't take it on the show. That's on us.
No, we'll just have to go back and rewatch all the past 17 episodes.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Travis
we should do that.
will have to go back and rewatch all 17 episodes because it's his show and he's carrying. You're right, Mitch. You're so right.
Dude,
True.
You know what I love about this too? Because of with like Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen movie coming on and stuff, we kind of got our schedule filled right now. So we are taking a little break of Cromartie for now, but I just love the thought that you're just going to be like sitting there just one day, just like, man, thank God I don't have to watch Cromartie this week. But then it's still going to be like, I got to watch it. Like, I got to like watch it in like a week. Cromartie.
Eventually.
Takanuchi, the biggest, toughest guy.
Then it's
In all the first years.
It's going to be Sunday of the day before we talk about it. I'm like, fuck. Wait another fucking 2 hours of my life.
But we'll only have one more podcast to go with Cromartie, and then we'll be done, and we'll move on to a different show. So you guys only have to suffer for one more, and I get to enjoy it for one more time, taking all these godforsaken notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
You probably sell those notes like old school notes. You get all those advertisements saying we'll buy your notes.
Oh, dude, I like read them.
Well, like you were saying, there's no synopses online, so Trav can put that on the internet. He's gonna get so many hits.
Dude, I'm reading it. I like
typing in what the fuck is this show about.
Dude, I suck at taking notes because I read this shit. And I'm like, man, I was like hinting at something like past Trav knew, but current Trav doesn't know what the f past Trav is talking about. Granted, this was like at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I was pretty tired at that point. But yeah,
it's probably where hot cocoa came from too.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think that's about all we have to say about Cromartie, right, guys?
Yep.
All right.
For now.
So then, with that, with that, we are going to be ending the podcast for this week. So whoever hung out, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it. And roll the outro, bitch.
On the next episode of this episode, Trav, Mitch, Josh, and Yusuf discuss the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. If you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and be sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss when any new episodes go live. You can also watch live at twitch.tv/DutchRee every Monday night.